The history of Amazing Grace and fun facts about the iconic hymn. The origins of Amazing Grace. One of the most beloved and widely recognized hymns of all time, Amazing Grace has a history that is as powerful as its lyrics. The song was written in 1772 by John Newton, an English poet and Anglican clergyman. Newton's life story is one of transformation, from a sailor involved in the transatlantic slave trade to a devoted Christian who later became an advocate for abolition. Newton wrote the lyrics for Amazing Grace as part of a New Year's Day sermon in 1773, reflecting on his personal redemption and faith. The words were inspired by 1 Chronicles 17 verses 16 to 17, in which King David expresses humility and gratitude for God's grace. However, it wasn't until 1779 that the hymn was published in Newton's collection Only Hymns. The melody, a mystery for decades. While the lyrics of Amazing Grace were written in the 18th century, the melody we associate with the hymn today was not originally used. In early years, the hymn was sung to different tunes, as was common practice at the time. The familiar tune we know today, often referred to as New Britain, was first published in 1835 by American composer William Walker in his songbook Southern Harmony. Walker paired Newton's lyrics with a traditional melody that had been passed down orally in the American South. This combination became the standard version of the song, making it the most recognized Christian hymn in the world. Fun facts about Amazing Grace. 1. It was written by a former slave trader turned abolitionist. John Newton's early life was spent working on ships, and he was actively involved in the slave trade. However, after a near-death experience at sea during a storm, he gradually turned to Christianity. Years later, he became a vocal critic of slavery, working alongside abolitionists like William Wilberforce. 2. The melody might have African roots. Some music historians believe that the tune of Amazing Grace may have been influenced by African melodies sung by enslaved people. The song's pentatonic scale, which uses 5 notes, is common in African and Scottish folk music, leading to theories that the tune evolved from a blend of these traditions. 3. It played a role in the civil rights movement during the 1960s. Amazing Grace became a symbol of hope and unity in the civil rights movement. It was often sung at rallies, marches, and church services, reinforcing messages of faith and perseverance. 4. It was one of the first songs broadcast from space in 1977. NASA's Voyager 2 spacecraft carried a collection of Earth's cultural artifacts, including music. While Amazing Grace wasn't on the famous Golden Record, it was played by astronaut Buzz Aldrin on his harmonica during the Apollo 11 mission in 1969. 5. It has been recorded over 7,000 times with thousands of recordings across various musical genres. Amazing Grace holds a unique place in history. Some of the most famous versions include performances by Aretha Franklin, Elvis Presley, Judy Collins, and Mahalia Jackson. 6. It's a favorite at funerals and national events due to its themes of redemption and hope. Amazing Grace is frequently played at memorial services, including those of public figures like former U.S. Presidents Ronald Reagan and Richard Nixon. Bagpipers often perform the hymn at police and firefighter funerals as well. 7. The lyrics have inspired books and films. The hymn has influenced literature and cinema, most notably the 2006 film Amazing Grace, which tells the story of William Wilberforce's fight to end the British slave trade, with John Newton as a key character. Conclusion. From its origins as a poem by a former slave trader to its rise as a global anthem of faith and resilience, Amazing Grace continues to touch hearts around the world. Its message of redemption, hope, and transformation transcends cultures and generations, making it one of the most enduring hymns in history. Thank you for watching. Please watch more videos on Fact Facts channel.